Chris Gunzz here with former champion Giovani Segura. I want to start out by congratulating you, Giovani, on your incredible win in Puerto Rico over Jonathan Bomba Gonzalez. Was this the most satisfying win of your career? Not just because of the Mexican-Puerto Rico rivalry and you being in Puerto Rico. You did that before, of course, against the great Ivan Calderon, but the way he was talking, what was it more satisfying because of his mouth?
No, I think the most satisfying fight is it was my first world title versus Cesar Canchila. Because the fight with Bomba Gonzalez, I knew I was gonna knock him out. I know I was gonna destroy him because I'm a man who's been proof fighting real fighters, top fighters, and going to a little kid who doesn't even know what to say and how to fight. It was common sense. Yeah, I was supposed to win this fight. In my own opinion, I said to myself, I need to win this fight in order to tell myself, you're back in the game. If I were to lose this fight, I would have be thinking on retirement.
And I talked to you before that fight, and I came away thinking what a nice guy you were, and with your record and how good you are. More people should know you, and I wanted to find out more about you because here in America we don't get to see great smaller fighters. The light flyweights and the flyweights are usually overlooked in America. Tell us about yourself, Giovani. You're born in Mexico. Where in Mexico, and what was it like?
Well, right now, I was born Ciudad Altamirano, Guerrero. It's Mexico. It's a tough city. You learn to fight in order to not be being bullied by the bigger guys on school, and you learn to live a hard life, and over there, as soon as you turn to 11, 12, you're working, to help your parents, coming for a poor family, and like anybody else, anybody from Mexico came on 2000, came to look for the American dream. And, I came here to the United States, and on my first 3 months, I did my first amateur fight. That was in 2000. Mm-hmm. And I only did 15 amateur fights. I didn't know I need to lose weight. I didn't know. I will fight at 118, 120. And did 15 amateur fights, and went to the first Desert Storm in Yucatán, first tournament. They threw me with the open fighters, and I just knocked them out. Everybody. I was knocking everybody out, and for me it was fun, just get protection, the headgear, mouthpiece, and gloves, and just going into the ring with a guy your size and sometimes bigger, knock them down. It was an adventure for me. It was something cool, and it was funny. To see other guys get nervous before the fight, or some of them even get scared, I'd be like, well, it's protecting, and it's only straight out. And for me, it was fun, I used to go in Mexico. I never trained boxing in my life. That was until I came in 2000 to the United States, and the only boxing I knew was what I was used to see on TV, the Mike Tyson father, Julio Chavez, Ricardo, all those big cards, I will never see like the upcoming fighters because they only get pay-per-views on Mexico, I will sneak into the bars with my dad or my uncles, and sometimes I would struggle to get in because they would tell me, hey, you can't go in because you have to consume. I'll be like, well, give me a soda. And I'll find my way out to get into the bar and just get away with the fight, No. I was different from everybody, because everybody will have a drink, talk about the fight, But I would see the fight in a different point of view, I knew who was going to win the fight. I knew who was winning the round, And all the time that there was a close fight, they would ask me, the bigger guys, hey, who do you think won the fight? I'll be like, this one, but it was a close fight, and this guy's local, I will understand the language of boxing so quickly, and that knowledge that I have from boxing as soon as I started training for the first time in my life, never, ever in my life, I walked into a boxing gym. Never. I'm talking about I was 20 years old the first time I walked into a boxing gym, and it was like, wow, so this is the place where the people on TV I see, they train. For me it was like a wonderland,
Wow.
I love so much boxing, but I never knew how they would build a fighter, what was the struggle, what was the routine, So for me it was like a little kid in the candy land. So that's why I only took 3 months in order to do my first amateur fight. And the first trainer I had, he passed away. His nickname was Chato from Santa Ana, California. And he told me, he called me to the office, and I was like, I'm gonna get kicked out because I don't have papers, I was like, I knew it. So he just told me, hey, why are you boxing? Are you boxing just for a hobby, or you want to fight? I'd be like, well, I'm gonna tell him that for a fight, I didn't really have in my mind, I was gonna be a boxer, because I used to play soccer in Mexico, and since here it's a different level.
Yeah.
Sometimes they used to pay me just to play in different teams, and for golf too. And I told him, well, I play soccer tonight, and he told me, you can't be doing two things. You have to do one, and your thing is boxing. And he told me that all these, things. But he told me one thing I will never forget. Like, everybody has an opportunity in their life, and this is your opportunity. And sometimes you never know where that opportunity comes. And I'm not letting you have a future in boxing, because what people normally learn in 3 or 4 years, you just learn it in 2 months. I was like, what the heck? This guy's crazy, He's telling me to live soccer when this guy doesn't know what soccer means to me, I grew up playing soccer. He's like, you know what? You don't have a future in soccer. He's like, you're small. Right here, soccer sucks. And you need a lot of connections for soccer and boxing. That's the only thing you can do by yourself, and nobody can stop you. And he's like, and you're not going to be amateur. You're going to be a pro, a good pro, not an amateur fighter. He's like, because your style is amateur. And he told me, you want to get ready? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, okay. And then he gave me an hour, specifically hour to go train, because he separated me from everybody else. And he told me, just learn one thing every day. In a month, you'll learn 30 things. And that's how we started. And from there on, I just took a year training, did 15 amateur fights. 2001, I did my debut as a pro. And on my 7th fight, I was champion of California. And then I got the IBA world title. Then I got the NABF. Then I got the WBA. And, when I was like 21 fights already, I already had my rematch with Conchila. I knocked him out. I destroyed him in 4 rounds, and it was just, of course, it was just something so quick, something that, from 2000 2001, I did 50 amateur fights. With only four amateur fights, I jumped with the open fighters with 80, 90, 100 and something fights, and I would knock them down,
Yeah.
And now I would just be like, well, I don't care, I wanna fight the best, I used to do sparring with Ponce de Leon, Martin Castillo, former 115 champion, and I was just pushing myself to the limit, And now, hearing this young kid with a big background of amateur fight saying that he was too green for me and this and that, I was just like, wow, that makes me feel special, being Calderon, being Cesar Canchila, being ranked pound for pound number 8, getting the ring tighter, all those stores that I used to stop by when I was running, and I would stop by on riding, just sneaking and go through the ring magazine, and sneak around and look. And nobody would see me. I was looking at the magazine, But now you got all these websites. they weren't before, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just a cool story that I have, and I'm still living.
And as an amateur, you were sparring De Leon as an amateur?
No, as a pro.
As a pro, yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about your career like it's easy to talk about it all. You just remember it all like that. But you had an amazing career. You only did
Yeah,
it.
and I mean, for me, it was special to knock, people out sometimes. And amateur, I'll give them 10 pounds of weight more than me, you know.
Yeah.
And with a 10-ounce glove and with a hicker and just knock them down for me was cool, you know. I would just feel like that confident that fighting sparring world champions, you know.
Yeah.
Abner Mares, Ponce de Leon, Victor King, all those guys, and giving them wars, and that would just give me confidence. And since I grew up in the town's neighbor, for me it was fun, and then I was like, "Damn, you get paid for this?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool, let's do this."
Yeah. And is it true that you were 38-4 as an amateur?
No, I just say that to get signed on top, right?
Oh, okay. What was it? Do you remember?
I only did 15 amateur fights and then lost like 3 or 4.
Okay, so 15-4. That's incredible, man. And did you like fighting as an amateur?
No, because sometimes I'll be training. I only find kids like a 13, 14-year-old on my weight class. That's why I went to tournaments and got fights. And sometimes the last fight I had to give 10 pounds of advantage to order a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll still stop it.
Yeah. You turned pro, and do you remember who you turned pro against and who you fought and what the result was? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Valdez. It was on the Vital Casino. Mm-hmm. And it was a 4-round decision. I dropped him off in the first round. I couldn't finish him. And I fought at 113.5, and the guy was 117.
Yeah. First time you fight without headgear and with the smaller gloves. How'd that feel?
Oh, it feels different, It feels like a street fight.
Yeah.
Now, in the first round, like at the first 15 seconds, he stunned me with the override hand. And I just got, wild. I went through it and we started banging him and walled him, then dropped him down. Then he got saved by the bell. And then I got crazy, I got tired, and it was like the last round was like fighting on slow motion,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good adventure.
Yeah, and you had a draw in your second pro fight against Ben Garcia.
Yeah.
He already had 10 fights.
I don't know why people get nervous. For me, it's not that I wanna feel cocky about it, stuff like that. I just think it's fun, I think it's a hard sport, and if you enjoy it, you have to enjoy it because it's still a hard sport. It's tough. The struggle is really hard, and if you struggle about it, well, it just makes it tougher,
Mm-hmm. And what's incredible about that, though, you're fighting Ben Garcia, and it's your second fight, and he has 10 fights. He's 7-1 with 2 draws. So you weren't having an easy time being matched. What happened in that draw? Did you feel like it was a draw? Did you feel like you won?
No, I think that was on the first. I remember that one of the first little cards that Golden Boy was doing,
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like I went training. I went training in the morning. Then like at 6 p.m. they call me. Oh, you're gonna fight tomorrow? Are you ready? I'm like, yeah. So I wasn't that ready,
Yeah.
And I dropped him 2 times and they didn't call it. And I don't know. I think it was like a clear one.
Mm-hmm.
But they put it in the drum. Like, okay, cool.
So was Oscar De La Hoya there?
No, it was like a small thing, a really small thing. It was actually in the fair. It was free,
That's incredible, though, in your second fight, and especially after just 15, 16, 17 fights as an amateur? 15 and 4 or something like that?
It was like he would throw 1-2 and then hug me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just try to knock him out the whole fight, and I don't know why they give me a draw.
Yeah. Well, you guys fought again just 2 weeks later like they did in the old days, and you knocked him out in the first round, so no controversy there. And then you win 3 more fights, all 3 by knockout, and all 3 in the first round too. And then you're fighting for the vacant USA California State Flyweight Championship against Jose Antonio Rico, and you knock him out in the first round too. It's not a world championship, but it's somebody's championship. How did it feel to be the California State Champion?
Well, it grabbed the attention of Top Rank, it grabbed the attention of the media and back then the newspaper, there wasn't that much media, and that's how we grabbed the attention of Top Rank, and we went there, and we just did our little eye with 40-something or 30-something amateur fights, and throw me an undefeated fighter, the Felipe Rivas, and I just dropped in the first round, and he just survived the whole fight. And from there on, we started fighting, and then they throw me with for the IBF, and they told me the Olympian Carlos Tamara, and those days he was undefeated. And I give him a good fight too. I got the 12-round decision, and just running around, just chasing my prey, and doing doing good fights,
Yeah. What I wanted to know though, like you don't have many amateur fights, and then suddenly you're winning fights as a pro, and things are moving so fast. And what's it like when you hear that Top Rank and Bob Arum is checking you out and interested in signing you? It's an amazing feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it just it just makes you it makes you want to work harder. It makes you trying to survive in this atmosphere. Especially I'm talking about the small divisions. We don't really get paid that much. We don't get exposed to people. And me as an immigrant, going against everything, against time, against experience, and putting myself on the map, it was good. That was saying that all my hard work. My family used to laugh at me. Used to say, "Oh, you want to be a boxer, Oscar De La Hoya? You're crazy. You're 20 years old." And you're still an amateur. What do you think you're gonna do in boxing? Just leave that and start working,
Mm-hmm.
And it was against everything, It was against my family. It was against my friends, Just a few people always believe in me. But I mean, all that effort, all that hard work, it paid off, And I proved I'm wrong. And it got to a point that I know what my first trainer told me. In boxing, you don't need connection. In boxing, you go as far as you want to go, And he was right. I mean, I win against everything, and nobody can stop me. Since that happened, nobody stopped me. I got to a point that I grabbed everybody's attention.
Yeah, and you had to go through stuff with your family teasing you and stuff. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I have six brothers, 2 sisters, and 4 brothers.
Wow. So
yeah.
you're really taking it. They're all on you.
And it was funny, I used to work in landscape, and I'll talk about on the break, and yesterday when we went to fight and they would make fun of me, and I told them, one day you're gonna see me on TV, and you're gonna tell your friends, "Oh, I used to work with this guy," and they're not gonna believe you. And you're laughing at me right now, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But that happened, and every year on the last day, they used to do like a party,
Mm-hmm.
like a Mexican party for everybody, right there, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go check out my old friends, and I went there, and there was a lot of friends still there working,
Yeah.
and they were like, I know you're not gonna want to talk to me because you because of what you said, remember? Like, that's what I hear, you asshole. I'm like, nah, I'm still the same guy. Don't trip.
Yeah.
They were like really support. They were, so happy to see me on TV, and cheering, and it was a good feeling, going back from where I started and getting that respect from the people I used to yell at me. It was cool.
Yeah, and it couldn't happen to a better guy. So, you feel good when good people make it. It always feels good to see that. And after your fight with Rico, you fight Ben Garcia again after 4 more wins. You're knocked down in the first round. Take me through the knockdown in the third fight with Ben Garcia.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I'm gonna knock this guy out. He's being knocked out. And this guy got ready because it was gonna be on TV and everything. I was a little bit confident. I was in good shape, but it was just like the first 10 seconds of the fight.
Uh-huh.
He got me with an over right hand, and I went down. And he didn't even realize because he pushed me and he kept on walking and throwing punches. And I like blinked and I was like, oh shit, he dropped me down, I just got up and he went wild on me and I stunned him again, and from there on just chasing the whole fight, trying to get him, Since that was my first drop in my career, I was a little bit, angry and desperate to knock him down because I was stunned him and he would move around, and just try to knock him out. It showed me that sometimes, anger takes over you or your instincts, it just makes your fight difficult. If it's easy, you make it difficult yourself.
Yeah.
And I learned from the experience.
And I know Ben Garcia's out there somewhere, and I know all his kids and grandkids are going to hear all about how he had you down.
Yeah. I mean, I've been through everything. Even I was stopped by Giovani. He never dropped me.
Yeah.
It was the swelling that actually stopped me from fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you won 3 more fights, and all by knockout after that Ben Garcia fight, and including a devastating knockout over 20 wins with 2 losses and 2 draws. Francisco Arce, you knocked him down in the first round, and he got up and he fell into the referee's arms. Did you realize that when you hit people, they stayed hit? Like, how confident were you at that point in your career in your power? Did you feel like you could take anybody in the world at that time?
Yeah, because I used to do sparring with bigger guys all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I used to spar with Martin Castillo. He was a really tough guy to hit, and I used to spar Ponce de Leon. I used to spar like all these guys, Chino Garcia, former 112 champion,
Mm-hmm.
and all the other guys. I left Jose Navarro, the Olympians, and all these kids, that they'll give me hard work. I'll give them hard work, and that was my main thing. Sparring the good ones will take me to another level, and I won't fight on amateurs. I usually, if I spar with guys on my side, I all the time will knock them down or stop them,
Mm-hmm.
And I won't rely to that. I won't look at that. I would just be like, I won't be with the good ones to get to another level. And I always push myself. It was never enough for me. I was like, I wanted just more and more. I was so obsessed to see how far I can get, because every year I know I could do better, and I'll jump to that level, and then I'm like, I can do more than this, And I was just on the roller coaster, up and down, but I was never satisfied, because I didn't have no experience. So my experience had to learn the hard way as a pro.
Yeah. And what advice and what kind of compliments would someone like Castillo and Ponce de Leon, what would they say to you and give you as a young?
They'll tell me, like, if you keep training like that, every guy of your weight class, you're just going to be destroyed because you get so hard, It's like, I spar bigger guys than you. Sometimes I feel you hard hit. You hit harder than them. You know, it's like you hit like a 130, 126 pounder.
That's gotta make
But
you.
I'm like, yeah. I'm telling you, like we spar with bigger guys.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
That's an awesome feeling to get compliments like that from champions and stuff, and great champions too. It's got to make you float like all day. But after beating Jair Jimenez for the IBA flyweight title, you move down in weight for your next fight against Carlos Tamara. It's for the interim NABF light flyweight title. Most guys move up because making weight is hard work. Why did you decide to move down?
Because I have experience. I don't know how to manage my body to lose weight. You know, usually, like you said, I didn't have experience. I didn't know how to drop weight. I didn't know how to do a good diet, and I would eat bestiality, whatever, you know. And again, I started learning as a boxer. I started learning what was the right thing to eat, how many times I had to eat, what was the right weight, the right exercise to lose weight, you know. My experience was as a pro. I didn't have time to learn as an amateur because I didn't have time. I was already 20 years old. So I was late already. So I had to learn the hard way, you know. So we figured out. I'm like, okay, I'm doing weight easy, so we might drop more weight. And then where you don't feel weak, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I feel good. And that's how for now I can go down the weight. If I knew how to drop weight, I would start my career probably in 105.
Yeah. And a lot of guys, and they lose weight, go to a weight class below, and they didn't do it the right way, and they pay the price in their fights. But you felt real good in that fight with Tamara, right?
Yeah, and I took a lot of good punches too, and some people don't realize, you know, in order to have a good chin, it has a lot to do with how you lose weight, you know.
Yeah.
If you gain a lot of weight after the weight, it's because you lost a lot of weight. That's why we see Bernal Hopkins, we see Floyd Mayweather, you know, all these big fighters. That they don't get that much weight, you know, Reagan Dogs, they don't get that much weight because they know they're fighting really good.
So how much weight do you gain between fights being a light flyweight? It's got to be hard being a Mexican. I love Mexican food. It's got to be tough.
I usually get like between 8 and 10 pounds.
Okay, no big deal really. Well, for a little guy, it might be a little tough being a littler guy, but hey, that Mexican food, you can't refuse it. You gotta celebrate, huh?
That's right.
And you become the interim NABF light flyweight title with that win, and then you fought for the main NABF light flyweight title, and you stop Jesus Martinez in 5. Then you knock out Daniel Reyes in 1, and Wilfredo Valdez in 1. You're racking up the knockouts and a lot of first round knockouts. So starting slow is not your problem. You don't usually see a small fighter with so many first round knockouts, and that's a credit to you. You're like a little Tyson, like a little Mexican southpaw Tyson. You know you have that power, right?
Yeah, I realized that since I dropped more weight, my power increased, you know, and my opponent will be smaller.
Yeah, that was my question.
I figured out that I was more dangerous in 108 than in 112.
Yeah. And then came your first fight with Cesar Canchila on the big Cotto Margarito card. This was for the interim WBA light flyweight title, and it started out as a war, and it was a great fight. Take us back to that night. A great fight.
Yeah, but then again, you know, my girlfriend and my work took me to fight better fighters, top fighters, you know. And Cesar Canchila was an undefeated big puncher, you know, who had experience. And to make everything work. I didn't do it the first time, and I had to learn how to manage to fight Conchita and win.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to train different, with more cardio,
Mm-hmm.
more smart, and aim good my punches. Because on the first fight I missed a lot of big punches, and I got me tired, and I got overconfidence. And that's why the second fight I just jump in there and destroy it.
Yeah. So that first fight though, was there any nerves added being on such a big card? On that Cotto Margarito first fight was a huge card. It was a Puerto Rican Mexican rivalry card. You found out a little something about that after, but what did it add to your wanting to perform at a higher level? Did it add to your stress levels maybe?
Yeah, I was more nervous about being there with the crowd and even the fight. Being there on TV and it was something really amazing. That's why I tell you that's one of I consider one of my biggest wins. But because I was a war the first fight, and there was all this next level. It was this new feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Going up in HBO, going on TV, putting myself on the map, and giving a great fight. And then again, I lost. It was my first loss. There was a lot of emotions going through. You realize for the first time who's with you, who's not. And you get surprised how many people turn your back on you. And it was crazy. It was just something new for me.
Yeah, and the second fight though, you come back and you hurt him early and you keep him hurt. How good did it feel to win that title and to put that to rest? Because he did take your O away. He beat you for the first time, and to come back and to have to sit with that in your mind for all that time, and wanting to, how good did it feel?
It felt really good. It was really satisfying because in the first fight, I was so punched. I felt that I was in slow motion. I felt that I could have done better. And then on the second fight, I just correct that.
Mm-hmm.
I did what I did wrong. I did it right, and it paid off. And my aiming was good. My punching, my timing, everything was good. My power was there. I took the punches, and I keep my plan all the time. I have to go forward. If I'll get hit, I don't care. Getting hit me, I'm like him, and if you take advantage, good. Because if you're not, I'm gonna destroy you. That was my mind. You better hit me good. If you hit me, I told him that if you're gonna hit me, hit me right. Because if you don't, you're gonna go down. That was my mind. That was my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I fight all the time.
Yep. And that was your first fight in Mexico, your home country. What was it like for you to be fighting back at home? And was it more special winning your first title?
Yeah, especially in Mexicali. That was the fight in Mexicali, and everybody loves boxing. Everybody, even old ladies, you can talk about boxing. They know all the fighters. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, you got more sports that are big, like baseball, basketball, football, but they don't equal as boxing in Mexico. Soccer, boxing, and it was crazy. Going to an airport and stopping by ladies saying, "Hey, me for a good fight," this and that. I was like, "What? You saw my fight?" I was not used to hear that from an old lady,
Yeah. Man, yeah.
And it was exciting, She was telling me, she was talking about the fight. I was talking to a man, You're like, yeah, you hit him here, then you hit him right there, and I was like, wow. It was crazy to hear a woman talk about boxing, and not just talking about boxing, seeing as we see boxing. It was really good.
And Mexico even accepts women boxing when here in America they don't. You got American women like Ava Knight going to Mexico for every fight because they appreciate boxing better in Mexico.
Exactly.
So.
And she's winning people, because his fights.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. And with that win, though, you finally got that WBA light flyweight title. It's an interim title, but it's the WBA light flyweight championship. How's it feel to finally have that in your hands and stuff? I mean, it's got to feel good.
I feel good, But once again, my mom was still, not satisfied. I know I could have done more. I know my next opponent was going to be Don Calderon. That's why I started calling him out, And I wanted to fight everybody, because it just gave me that confidence. I'm like, I know I'm in the next level now, I know I'm good at this, and I could do better. So I just want to fight everybody. It was great feeling.
Yeah. And your next fight's for the main title against Juanito Rubilar. What do you remember about that one?
Oh, I remember he hurt me with a straight left hand the first round. I'm like, damn, this Filipino was no joke, I'm like, it's going to be a hard night for me. So I started working the body, he was taking shots. And I took good shots on him, and until I was missing them upstairs, and I had to go downstairs, and I'm like, damn, if I wouldn't be in shape, this guy could stop me,
Mm-hmm.
And I just stopped him, but then again, sometimes people don't realize how hard I hit. After my fight, they threw an undefeated kid in Mexico, threw Juanito Rubilar right after my fight, thinking that, I looked them there, make them seem easy, the fight. It came out that Juanito stopped the kid,
Mm-hmm.
So I knew this guy was great, Even what was it? Tony Haro.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped on the first round, but then again, he destroyed the Thai guy undefeated,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you stopped him with a body shot, and you stopped Walter Tello, and then you beat Ronald Ramos, and that was your 5th fight in a row in Mexico. You're 5-0 with 4 knockouts, so I guess you like fighting at home.
Yeah, but the people like my style, they appreciate it, and they started asking for more fights, and I was like, yeah, let's go,
Mm-hmm.
There's an atmosphere in Mexico than in the United States.
Yeah, and you were totally confident and calling out Ivan Calderon. You're at the top now, but people were still saying that if you fought Ivan, he would take you. He's 34 wins and 1 draw, no losses, and he's the WBO light flyweight champion. How did you feel going into that fight when the fight's finally made and you got that in the back of your mind, the Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry? You're going to Puerto Rico. What was it like going to Puerto Rico and then that was your first time there? Take me through that whole atmosphere and the whole fight process. What was it like going into that fight?
It was really special, because for me, I knew I had a chance to meet Tito Trinidad, one of my favorite fighters,
Mm.
And I know I was going to go to a beautiful place. And it was crazy. Over there, people knows about boxing too, And now I got there and I would run the streets and everybody would recognize me. And I found a couple of people saying, you know what, Giovani? This is your time now. This guy, I know you're going to take him. I'm from Puerto Rico, but I know you're going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big crowd too on that fight. And it was crazy, Everybody will ask me the same question. How do you think you're going to beat Calderon? Like, just being me. Just going there and destroying him. I'm not playing to go the distance. I'm trying to stop him. That's what I'm going to do. And he was like, you think you can stop him? I'm like, yeah. And, it came out that my game plan was the perfect one,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And tell me about the fight itself. One of the craftiest guys of all time. One of the most accomplished little guys in the world in the history of the sport. And he was getting a little older, but he was still very good. Tell me about what happened during the fight and what you thought of Ivan.
Well, it was good, you know. It was crazy because I knew that I was against everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was against the referee. I was against the crowd. I was against all the people that down on me, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to do everything that I could, you know, to win that fight, and that was my time. So it was just, you know, a different feeling from everything.
And you stopped them in the
seeing Trini on the corner of Calderon, you know.
No, that's kind of sad, right?
And with that expression going down, you know, it was crazy.
You stop them in the 8th round. What was the crowd like at the moment it stopped? The fight was over.
It's crazy. Usually when you, I never forget this, when you stop somebody, everybody goes wild. Everybody screams, right? But it was like close to 10,000 people.
Yeah. Wow.
And I remember it was less than 15 people that went to see my fight. They traveled to see my fight. And you can just hear those few people screaming because it was a silence, a crazy silence in the arena when they saw Calderon going down, you know, and you can see on the fight the faces of Farmer Lopez and Trini are really surprised. And then next to them it was Cuchilito Montiel, like saying it's over, waving his hands, it's over, and they were screaming, they were going crazy, and I knew, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I told Ivan Calderon's trainer, you know, I told him in the locker room when he was checking my hand reps. I told him, look, I'm gonna talk to you as a person, not as a fighter. Let's say you and me are just fans. Forget I'm a fighter. I'm forgetting that you're the trainer of my opponent. If I drop Calderon, you think he's gonna get up? He was like, what you can't see, you can't touch. And I told him, okay, let's say I get to drop him. You think he's gonna get up? And then he told me, why do you think you're gonna drop him? I'm just asking. He's like, if you can touch him, you can drop him, but you're not gonna be able to touch him, so you're not gonna drop him. So why are you asking me that question? I'm like, all right. And I tell him, look, as soon as I drop him, I'm going to look at the corner, and I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to blink my eyes, all right? And he started laughing. And he's like, you're a very brave man, little man. I'm like, no, I know why I'm here. And I'm not here to go to this. I'm going to drop him, and I'm going to look at you. And then when I did that, when he was going there, I turned around and I think I looked at him, and he started smiling. And he started smiling, you know, and with that smile, I knew everything that he meant. You know, he meant respect, and he meant all those great things, you know.
Yeah.
And after the fight, he went to my locker room. He's like, "You're a crazy son of a gun. I can't believe you did that to me." I'm like, what? He's like, you look at me and blink. You blink your eye on me. You're like, you're crazy. Are you going to come here and do that to me? He's like, man, you're a great fighter. Like, he showed me all the respect. And it was a good experience, you know?
Yeah, he's a classy guy. What did Trinidad say to you after that? He's your hero.
He said you have a lot of future. He said, keep up the good work. He's like, honestly, I didn't think you were going to win. I'm like, I know you never think. Nobody knew. I'm like, nobody knew. And he told me, like, you know, you have to keep your guard up, all these little details. And I told him, you know what, I wish I could do that, but I didn't have the time. You know, all the time I go to the gym, I try to do my best. But since I have experience, and sometimes I just want to knock my opponents, and I forget about the defense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm working on that, and he started laughing. He's like, yeah, you're going to be a good fighter, and I'm going to be checking you out. I'm like, thank you. And I told him, it's really special for me to hear this word from you, because when I was not a boxer, I used to see your fights and say, if I could be a boxer, I want to hit like him. And he's like, well, yeah, I think you hit it harder than me. It was cool, it was a cool adventure.
Yeah. After that fight, you're back in the ring just 3 months later in Tijuana, and you beat Manuel Vargas, and then you fight Ivan Calderon again. He comes to Mexico this time for the rematch. What happened in the rematch, and how'd you welcome him to your country?
Well, it was more easy on the second fight because it was easy because I figured out that nobody will go to the body to Ivan Calderon. So in the first fight, that was my game plan, and in the second fight, I just know what was about. Just made it easy. I did my weight more easy. I didn't struggle that much. And I knew what I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I had to do, and it was just, just go to the body. And it just made me feel more comfortable and make the fight easier. Because if I would have done that on the first fight, I couldn't make that fight easier than that.
Yeah, so you did it faster and more convincing. What did he say to you after that fight, Ivan?
Who?
What did Ivan say to you after that second fight?
He told me I got no excuses this time. He's like, you hit really hard. He was like, it was a mistake for me to fight you and move up in weight. He's like, I'm gonna try to go back on to 105 and I'm not gonna fight him 108 anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I know I fought the best and I lost with the best. He's like, I turned my hat off me and that was it,
Yep.
He had no excuses, and he told me, nobody went to the body, only you. And he's like, you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. And I remember I asked him if there's a part of him that wants you again after losing his 0 to you and losing again, and he made it clear that no, he don't want no part of you no more.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised hearing Bomba saying that he wanted to fight me again on your interview,
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I know, the way I beat him the first time, it's going to be easy for me the second time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a fast learner,
Yeah.
If I know where to hit you, I'm going to hit you there.
Yep. And after that second Calderon fight, you're back in the ring at a new weight just 2.5 months later against Eddie Zuniga. You did go up in weight for that fight, right? That was your first fight at the new weight, and you stopped him in 1. Then you go to the Philippines and take on another legend in Brian Valoria. You mentioned him a little bit. That one didn't go as you'd hoped. What happened in that fight with Valoria?
It was one of the days when everything goes wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't drop weight as I normally do. My work on Philippines, it was not good. Everything was just bad,
Yeah.
I didn't recover after the weigh-in. I just gained like 4 or 3 pounds. And it was not me, it wasn't me, it was Giovani Segura. And then the swelling came, after the fight, I didn't realize how big it was, I thought it was just like my eye,
Mm-hmm.
just a swelling eye, and when I saw myself, I did got scared for the first time in my life. I thought I was going to die. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die, and I'm probably leaving this last moments of my life. I just want to call my family, and I'm like, hey, what's happening to me? Nobody could tell me until I got to the hospital, and the doctor just told me, just come down. Don't think about nothing negative. We have to look what you have, and after that, we're going to give an answer. Right now, we don't know what you have, okay? Okay, all right. So they took me to MRI. They realized I have nothing. It was just swollen. It was just blood didn't come out. And the doctor just came and told me, you know what? You know what was the problem? That punch should have been a cut. It says your skin is really thick. The cut was the inside, and the bleeding caused the swelling. He's like, if you would have had a cut, nothing would have happened to you. Just, blood, like any other cut. Yeah. And he told me, but your skin is really thick. I think he's like, so the skin took the punch, but from inside it had a cut. It was internal bleeding that didn't come out.
Wow.
And he's like, well, what you need to do now is just relax, come down, and everything's going to be okay. And I was like angry. I'm like, all right, so that's it. And they're like, yeah. And I was trying to tell him to give me another explanation why I was like that, Mm-hmm. And then the doctor he realized what was happening to me. He's like, you know what? You want to know if you're going to keep on fighting, right? I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he started laughing. He's like, you're going to keep on fighting? You're going to recover? And what I need you to do, just relax, get some rest. In 3 months, you're going to be totally cured. And you're going to be able to train. You're going to be able to fight. And nothing's going to happen to you. You have nothing. It's just swelling because of the blood. That's all you have. And like, are you sure? Like, yeah. You're not going to die. Nothing. You have nothing serious. You have nothing to worry about. It's just blood that's inside between your skin. And as soon as he told me that, he told me he's going to give me some antibiotics, and he wanted me to rest, and I got a big sleep.
Wow.
That was relief. And then I found out all this news saying that I had an injury, I have my life was at risk, Mm-hmm. And especially from the media that don't have the intention of the public, they made it seem that my life was in danger. They made it seem a big deal, and the next day I called my mom, called everybody, and they were cool,
Yeah.
And that was cool too. So I just took rest, and that's what the doctor told me to do.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a mixed thing. First, you weren't sure if you were even going to live, and then you find out you are going to live, so that's great. Then you find out you're going to be able to fight again, so it kind of went from horrible and horribly scared to looking pretty good,
Yeah, because anybody that sees that swelling, even myself, it's weird to see swelling like that, It's not you don't usually see those things. So when you see a swelling like that, I mean, you think the worst, especially if you don't know about the body, about medicine. Mm-hmm. You think, oh my God, his brain is swelling,
Yep.
This is the first thing that goes through your mind. Your brain is swelling and it's gonna blow.
Yeah.
So that's why the people believe all these lies about me. Believe that I was retired. That it was over for me when that never happened. I was just taking the time off.
Yeah. And what's amazing is you didn't even take time off, really. You didn't even stay out of the ring too long at all. You stopped Omar Salado in the 9th round, so you kind of went deep into your next fight and tested that eye out. How did your eye feel in the ring with going 9 rounds after that?
It was great, I took like almost a year off,
mm-hmm.
and I was ready to get back in the ring, and I got a little bit of weight,
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard for me on the first Omar Salado fight at drop weight. If I would be close to the way I know I could have stopped it earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I was like fighting in slow motion, and even on the next fight with Sosa, my timing it was horrible. My timing,
Okay. Yeah.
And I was fighting a former champion whose timing was active, who had great condition. But then again, he didn't make weight,
Yeah.
He was 2 pounds over, and nobody did nothing about it, the TV was there. It was really clear, you know. The scale was touching up, and nobody did nothing about it, you know. The commission, the promoters, nobody did. So I realized, oh, okay, I know where I'm at. You know, I'm all the way down, and I have to do things, you know.
Yeah.
I have to knock this guy out, because if I don't knock him out, I mean, I know where I'm at. You know, everybody turned my back on me, and I know it is what it is, and I had to fight.
Yep. Yeah.
So I lost by decision, and once again, I got everybody turning their back on me. I got no support, and I'm starting again. I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. I've been here before, and I know what to do.
Yeah, and comes with experience and stuff like that. Do you feel like you won the decision? Did you feel like the points taken away in the first and ninth rounds for low blows? Did you feel like that was warranted? Did you feel like you should have had points deducted for those?
No, I think after right after the fight, when I was still there, I thought I won the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw the fight on TV. I saw it by myself with nobody talking to me, with nobody saying nothing to me. And I think I did lose the fight. I think my mistake was after the 8th and 9th round, I lowered my rhythm. I lost my rhythm. I started losing. I started losing my rhythm and not landing punches. You know, punches that I don't usually miss. And he knew that. He knew that I was getting desperate. And then every 4 rounds they were giving the scorecards, and he was really up on scorecards. And you know, I'm like, I need a knockout. You know, I need a knockout. And he knew he was going to fight according to the scorecards by a lot, and he was just boxing me out. You know.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. You know, but he won the fight by a little bit. But I think my mistake was not able to knock him down, and that's what I think happened, you know. Because I was not able to knock him down, and I was in the position that nobody was gonna do a fair fight on the fight, and nobody was gonna do nothing about it, you know. I'm like, well, if I don't knock him down, I'm gonna lose the fight. So that's what happened, you know.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and that's the sport. That was the sport of boxing, and I've seen this before, and now I was living it. So all I had to do, like my mom said, take it like a man.
Yep. And I'll tell you something, Giovani. Like, some guys will know they lose the fight, but never admit it. It's respectable when someone could admit it, because it is a sport, and there's got to be a winner and a loser, and there's no harm. The only sad thing is that a lot of fans do turn their back on you when they don't in other sports like MMA. They don't turn their back on people over there, but they do in boxing, and it's kind of sad. But I respect the fact that you admit that you think you lost a close fight, because most people would always say they won that fight, and now that puts you at you lose 2 out of 3 fights, and some guys don't recover well in a slump like that. You never stop believing in yourself, though. And how come you come back stronger when other guys are totally done? It's a mental sport, I know, but what is it different about you that makes you come back stronger?
Because, you know, I have reached a point with all these losses, you know, push me back from all the things that I was doing good, and all these people that were with me when I was winning, they were the first people to turn their back on me, talk about me, you know, and I saw myself, like, back in the days when I was starting, when everybody started, you know, making fun of me and saying, oh, I'm never gonna do nothing, and I just realized, you know, so much things, you know, that you only know and you only go through by going through a hard time like this, you know. You realize how people the majority of the people are. You know, they're with you when you're up, and they're not when you're down. And and that was one of the main things that made me, you know, prove them wrong again, and prove myself too that I had still a long way to go, and I just worked hard, you know. I just started working really hard, you know, and on the sparring, I started seeing different results, you know, and my training camp was different, was really hard, you know, and you know, sometimes I'll feel sore, sometimes I feel really tired, you know, but then I'll see my kids sleeping on the bed, you know, and I'll be like, man, you're bitching about all this, and these little angels are waiting for you to bring them food on the table, and all those things, you know, man, just put me up, you know, and always, you know, my mom telling me, you know, you have nothing to worry about. The only thing you have to do is work, you know, and take the win as you take the loss as a man, you know, and that's all you have to do, and you have nothing to worry about. It's like, you're young, you're strong, and you can do this. You just have to work hard, you know. And I started living all these positive people, you know, around me, and a few of them, and just work on it, you know, put my mind back, put my hard work back, and then it was a good feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Proving all them wrong, feeling more strong, feeling all these results. It was great, you know. It was from starting all over again.
And you mentioned your mom, you mentioned your kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old kid.
Wow. So how do you like fatherhood, and does it make you stay hungry? Does it make you want to keep going and fighting for him?
Yeah, because before it was to prove him wrong, and now it's to prove him wrong and to put on my table, you know?
Yeah.
It's different now, and like I mentioned before, right now it's really hard, you know. Everybody that don't realize the whole circle of boxing, you know, they just see Floyd Mayweather doing money, big cars, big houses, millions of dollars, and most of the people think just by being a fighter, by going up on TV, by having all these world titles, you get paid that money, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the real truth is, you know, the lower classes, the lower divisions, they don't get paid that good, you know.
Yep.
You have all these cruiserweights, heavyweights, boring fighters, and getting paid thousands of dollars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you get fighters like Reagan Dowd, like Donaire, you know, they're barely making good money, you know, but they're 118, 122. But then you have the smaller classes, you know, that nobody supports. The promoters don't support, you know, and sometimes they don't want to give them that exposure, you know, and it just hurts the sports, you know, because I know that it's not the people's fault. I think it's the promoters' fault. They don't give us a chance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the flyweights, they're really hard. You know, we got Gaito Estrada, we got Tyson Marquez, we got Chocolatito, we got Brian Viloria, Edgar Sosa. You know,
yep.
There's a lot of fights we can do, but no, they don't put us in. You know, I think there's a good chance right now to sneak us out in a good pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the little guys, the littler the guys are, the more skilled they are, because most guys don't have knockout power like you do when they're little. So they have to get their skills at such a high level. And if people just watch the skill level of these little guys, I mean, you can't help but love it. I don't know why more people don't respect it, but even someone like Rigondeaux. I mean, Rigondeaux is as skilled as you can get, and they don't want to put his fights on because they think he's boring and stuff. I don't think he's boring.
I don't think it's boring too. You know, I think, like I said it before, you have to know the language about boxing. You know, in order to appreciate what's a good fight and what's the bad fight. But then again, you know, that's why the UFC is getting a lot of publicity, because the promoters, they focus on the you know, they do what now they have like the 24/7 or the all access, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All the people, they know about the struggle that the UFC got, the training camp, then the suffering, the drama, but nobody knows about the drama of boxing, you know. Nobody knows the struggle to make weight, the struggle when you have a bad day, because everybody has a bad day, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just putting, you know, the good part, you know. They're putting Floyd Mayweather on their cars, you know. They're putting everything looks beautiful, everything looks pink, you know, everything looks wonderful. But nobody wants to show the struggle part, when you injure yourself, when the bad things are going between the managers or between the promoters. They don't agree on this, that all this and that is going to affect the fighters. They don't want to show that.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's like something that they don't want to show, because, you know, it's gonna be putting a lot of questions. You know, why did the small class don't win that much money? You know,
Mm-hmm.
why? I mean, back in the days, you know, got Chiquita Gonzalez and Carvajal, they used to make money.
Yep. Yep.
And there was 2 fighters only. Today we have close to 10 good fighters.
Yeah. They said that they started little guys making so much money. They were the first little guys to make $1 million. Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carbajal, and then you had people like Nassim Hamed come along, and his personality, whoever fought him made great money. So he was good for the sport, and you need more little guys to come out that can sell a fight like Nassim Hamed did. Or what do you think about, maybe you're with Top Rank, and they're starting to put a lot of cards on in China now, and Chinese people are usually smaller people, so they might accept smaller fighters and give more money to watch these guys fight. So hopefully something could happen like that, where the little guys get to go to China or something and make a whole lot more money than they could here. What do you think of that? Would you like to go to China and fight?
Oh, of course. You know, I think that's one of the clear things that I'm talking about. The clear example. You know, I think another perfect example is the Commander brothers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Commander brothers. They're just, you know, fighting all fighters, nobody.
Yep.
The exposure is so big, the publicity is so big that everybody believes it. You know.
Yep.
Why? Because the promoters, they build an idol. They build a samurai. They build this hero. You know.
Yep. That's true.
So that has to do a lot with the publicity. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That has to do a lot. You know. And you're never gonna see those kids fighting on top of the line fighters. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to see them because they don't want to risk that. They're so careful on picking opponents of them, you know. And that's going to happen with Story Streaming. The same thing, because this guy is winning $500,000 for a 4-round fight. I've never heard of it. I mean,
And
it's not going to put a top fighter right now, you know. And we all know that a pro world is different than the amateurs. We all know what Jimmy So has. It's just that everybody's scared of saying it because they don't want to look bad, because he's a figure right now. But we don't know what's going on. You know, it's a big difference between a Olympian like Show Shimmy, and then you have Reagan there. You know, it's totally different level, and you're never gonna compare that. But he has the publicity, he has the image, and they're taking advantage of it. And what's happening with Reagan there, they're just blocking him. They're blocking him. Why? Because he needs that. You know, he needs that.
Yeah. Yep. No. Hopefully something could be done, because the little guys are so much more skilled, and they fight so much more dangerous guys because of that skill level. All kinds of styles. You got the hard punchers, you got the boxers. You fight all kinds of guys from all different countries, and you guys deserve to have some kind of reward for it. And for your career, it takes us to current time, and you just had your last fight a few weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, against Jonathan Bomba Gonzalez, back in Puerto Rico, and the land of your biggest win to date against Ivan Calderon. What was it like being back in Puerto Rico for the first time since beating Ivan? Did people know who you were this time and happy that you were there?
Yeah, there was more people believing on me. You know, there was more. Bomba Gonzalez didn't really bring. He told me, you know, I just did that to sell, you know. And I could tell him, you know, you don't need to talk like that, because you're not you. You're a wannabe. He was putting eggs on the posters like Mayweather does. You know, he was talking all this crap. You know, he was just trying to imitate somebody that he was not, and he was making the excuse that, oh, I need to talk so I can sell. And when you have a small crowd, not even close to half of what Ivan Calderon brought on the first fight in Puerto Rico, you know, the media was different, the TV was different, you know. It was another level, you know. Been there with Ivan Calderon, and I've been there with Bomba, you know. And he was saying all these kids, oh, I had to talk, you know. You don't need to talk. Your punches talk, you know. That's what you do. You fight, and that's how you talk. You know, if Flo Mayweather, if he just would have talked and not fight, I mean, who will care about him? You know, he can fight. He's winning.
Yeah.
Winning is fighting. I mean, you can't talk and win. You have to fight. So I'm going against this guy. You know, he's thinking I'm over. He's talking about, oh, I'm not even the half of what I was when I won Calderon. We got the judges Puerto Ricanos, we got the referee Puerto Rican, we got the crowd Puerto Rican, we got everybody, you know. And what does that to me? It just encouraged me to knock him out, you know. What it does to me, that's what it brings to me. I'm not scared of nobody, you know. I'm not afraid of nobody. And especially I'm not afraid to go nowhere. And I've done that, you know.
Yep.
I went to Philippines, I went to Puerto Rico, and I went to Puerto Rico again, and I'll go to China, I'll go everywhere, you know, because I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior.
Yep.
I don't say it, I fight. That's the way I fight. You know, if I have 26 knockouts, I got 10 of them in the first round. That doesn't mean I'm a lucky puncher. That means that I got power, and I use my power. And people like knockouts. I love knockouts. That's why I bring all the time to the table. And that's why I was thinking I was going to Puerto Rico. Okay, I'm a warrior, and I'm going to take a fight with risk that's going to bring me glory. You know? I'm not going to take a fight, an easy fight, with no glory. Because it's not going to put me on the map.
That's right.
I'm back here. You know, everybody turned their back on me. This is the fight that I need. That's why I'm taking the fight. You know, because this is going to put me back in the map. And this is what I like. And that is going to want people to see me, because I would love to see that. As a fan, I would like to see a Mexican go against everybody and bring a spectacular fight when he's knocking a young fighter who's talking a lot of crap, and just beat him down, knocking him down, and leave everybody with their mouth open, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is just perfect. This is just what I need. That's why I took the fight. He was asking all the time since he was like a 6th-round fighter. I want to fight Giovani Segura. I want to advantage, you know. I want to revenge Ivan Calderon. You know, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, can't believe this kid.
Yeah.
You know, and then we see his loss, and then we see his letter. I was like, well, here we go. Here's what you get, and this is reality. You're not Floyd Mayweather. You got released. Exactly, just I had released before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's boxing. Welcome to reality. I mean, you can't be fighting nobody and thinking, oh, you're the king of the world.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be doing that in boxing, you know, because boxing is a bitch.
Yeah. Chalk it up to be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. And then, I mean, if you wanna, you know, what was this kid? The kid that knocked out the last round, the fighter of Floyd Mayweather.
Who's that? What did he do?
No, the Showtime fighter when a fighter of Floyd Mayweather got knocked out at the last minute.
Oh, that was Mickey Bay getting knocked out by John Molina.
I mean, you can't mess around with a power puncher because at the last second, he's still going to be dangerous. You know, a fighter who you have to respect a lot is a fighter with a punch.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what, no matter how bad he is, you know, you have to be careful because one punch can change everything.
Yeah.
You know, one punch can change everything, and that's one of the things, you know. That's why Floyd Mayweather is really careful in choosing his opponent, you know.
Yeah.
He knows, he's been stunned, and he's been really careful, you know. Not saying that the skills have nothing to do with that, but at the same time, you know, he bangs with a guy that doesn't punch,
Mm-hmm.
and he moves with a guy that punch.
Yeah.
That's why he was right there, you know, next to Cotto, Miguel Cotto, you know, really comfortable in the inside. But then we see another different Floyd Mayweather with Robert Guerrero, a good puncher, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. And we did talk before about what a good guy and a classy guy Ivan Calderon is. He's also got one of the nicest and biggest gyms in all Puerto Rico. I think the biggest gym. And he invited you to train there, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like I said it to all the media, you know, I can't believe this little kid, you know, who has fight nobody. You know, he's been an asshole when Ivan Calderon, he did all these big things that I didn't even did as a 108 pound. You know, he was a gentleman. I mean, he opened the gym for me. You know, he welcomed me. And he told me, I know you're gonna win the fight. You know, because you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Try to fight this kid, but he's in another world. He told me, he's in another world. He needs to clean his mind. You know, he's asking for Giovani Segura. He's like, here you are. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen. He's like, I know you really well, and I wish you the best. I wish everybody the best. He was like, I know you're gonna win. You know, this kid his mind is not there. He's like, he's in another galaxy. He's like, I try to advise him. You know, I try to tell him, you know, be careful, this and that.
Yeah.
And here you are. He's like, now he has to face you.
Yep. I talked to Ivan a couple days before your fight, and I had the feeling that he was thinking you were going to win that fight. You know, he didn't say it, but I had the feeling. I know he worked with Bomba a little bit, and I know that he thought that Bomba that he was telling Bomba what a hard puncher you were, and Bomba thought it was to scare him, but it was actually because he was working with him, it was to give him advice on a plan to how to fight you, but I guess Bomba wasn't, taking the advice too well. He thought he was trying to scare him. So I had the feeling that Ivan thought you were going to win, and I even had a feeling that, and again, he didn't say it, but I had a feeling that he was rooting for you. He wanted you to.
Yeah.
So.
You just have to see my background, and his background is really different,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that everything has been fast, even though he doesn't have the experience in an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in pro, he did have experience in amateur, and we saw it on the first round. He won the first round really clean. And then he started making mistakes, like trying to grab me, trying to hold me.
Yep.
Trying to stop me from fighting. I mean, that's the worst mistake you can do. Try to hold me and stop me from fighting. Why? Because I'm going to take one hand off and start punching you. Mm-hmm. If you grab me with the hand that I'm punching, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take the other one and start punching you. And that's what happened to him. He focused more on being scared than fighting.
Yeah.
You can't be scared. You can't be scared in boxing. You can't be intimidated in boxing. Because if you do that, I mean, your game plan is over. It's not there. You're worried about surviving. That's what happened to Bomba. He didn't realize how hard he hit, and when he felt the punch, all his game plan went to the trash.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, well, how am I going to survive? I'm going to hold him. He was telling the referee, help me, We saw the second round. How was really clear. The referee, not counting a clear knockdown.
Yeah.
After the first one. I mean, how clear than that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's true.
I was like, nah, I'm gonna destroy this kid. There's no way I'm gonna let him live anymore, And hopefully he doesn't end up like Canchila. Canchila after my second fight, every punch will go down. I wish him luck. I wish him the best. And I wish him it didn't affect him. I mean, he's young and everything, but a punch, still punch. And I punch really hard, on Calderon too, after he got knocked out, it wasn't the same. You don't realize how hard I hit until you go up there with an 8-ounce glove with me. And no headgear,
Yep.
That's how you realize how hard it hit. And I got a lot of knockouts, and not because I'm a good fighter, it's because I punch hard. And right now, 112, I'm really strong, and I got a different mind right now. I'm just hungry to go there and battle. If they told me any fighter right now, like Tyson, Marquez, like Raito Estrada, Viloria, Sosa, all those fighters, I'm really confident that I'm gonna win, and I'm really confident that I'm gonna knock them down, and that's how I'm gonna go with my mind, with my training, thinking that. Wanted to see that, and want to give that to the fans. Because that's who I am, that's what I bring to the table.
Yep. And like I talked to Bomba yesterday on my show, and he said that he was doing all this talking to sell tickets, which I didn't get it because he's fighting you, and he's fighting you in Puerto Rico. Really, the place was sold out. There was really nothing more to sell. So I don't know why he chose to keep going at you and doing that stuff, because I think it lit a fire under you that might not have been there if he was a gentleman, so it kind of worked against him,
Yeah, he started doing that before the fight. I actually blocked him from my Facebook because he started putting some images of me when I was swelling of the Viloria fight, saying, I'm going to leave you worse than this, all this and that. He started calling friends and telling them to put stuff on my wall. I had to block them, and I'll never replay nothing. And almost everyone was like, hey, why don't you call him? I'm like, I can't do that. Yeah, because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
If he wants me, he has to fight. It's like, it was so hard for me to get here and just give opportunity a kid who's crying for a fight. I'm like, you don't cry for a fight, you fight for a fight. He needs to fight for a fight. I'm not going to give him a chance right now. He has to earn his opportunity, like I earned mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I never answer any of his stupidity. I just blocked them and just, let time by. And when the time came, he asked for it, and he had it.
Yep, and he did.
I needed to open my mouth, do a drama, like he said that he needed to do to get the attention of the people. Because people don't like talking. People like knockout. Knockout talk more than anything you can say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right.
And that's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to talk to the people. Give them what they want. And that's why I fight like I fight. That's why I bring my fight to that, because every fight that I have, I go back to the TV, I turn on the fight, and I'm like, man, I could have done this better, I could have done that better, but I'm looking at the point of view as a fan, not as a fighter, because I want to see this. I want to see this, Giovani Segura. I don't want to see what I saw here. I want to see this. So the next time, that's how I'm going to fight. That's what I'm going to try to do. But this is what is going to work for the fight, and not just win big, win is spectacular. Because people tell me, even when you lose, you look good. You're like, damn, even when you lose, the fights are good. It's crazy. I'm like, well, thank you. That makes me feel good,
Yeah.
He's like, man, I like to see your fights because no matter what fight you get, if you lose, you win, you still bring a good fight for the fans.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm really happy to hear that, because that's my main purpose, put a fight on TV who's gonna see it, who's gonna be happy, who's gonna scream, who's gonna call the neighbor and say, hey, put on the TV, Giovani is gonna fight. Because they know who I am, they know what I bring to the table, and that's what I worry about. That's one of the more concerns on every fight. Bring something better. I came out with a big knockout on my last fight, so what I'm gonna do on my next fight, whoever I'm gonna fight, that's what I'm gonna bring, and I'm gonna try to make it look better. I'm gonna try to look better, win better, and for order to do that, I'm gonna train harder, and that's what I'm doing right now. They're talking about this fight with Tyson. I don't know if it's gonna go on or not. I haven't spoke to my manager. I haven't spoke to the promoters, but they're making a big deal of it. I'm like, man, make the noise you want. It doesn't affect me, When it comes to time to talk, we're going to talk. We're going to see numbers, and let's bring it on,
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me. If you want to talk about me, talk about me. There's nothing bad with that. As long as you talk about me, it's good.
Yeah.
My main concern right now is train hard, and when the time comes to sit on the table, see the contracts, see the numbers, they'll come. If I'm going to fight Tyson, if I'm going to fight Gaito Estrada, if I'm going to fight the devil, who cares? I'm training right now. On Monday, I'm start doing sparring, because if I'm going to fight, I want to be ready. Whoever is going to be there,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be saying, oh, I'm going to fight another easy opponent. Or no, I'm going to worry about how I'm going to win. The way I want to win. That's my concern, not my opponent. Because I'm back, and I win big, and that's how I'm trying to keep winning. Big.
Yeah. And just quickly back to Bomba, he started out good in the first round, and you caught him with a monster right hand that sent him crashing to the floor in the second round. And he told me that he never recovered. He never recovered after that. Did you know how hurt he was after that second round knockdown? Did you know it?
Yeah, I felt the way I hit him. I know he's a young, strong fighter. I know he was ready. I was not surprised. He stood up and kept on fighting. What I was surprised it was that they didn't stop the fight before the last knockout. I don't know. I guess he was throwing punches, but I didn't see the way he could have won the fight. He was really hurt. And after I dropped him the last time, I'm like, well, hopefully he's okay, you know, because I really hit him hard. You know, like I said, people don't realize how hard I hit until I feel it. The fight that I did with Bomba, everybody looked at the punches in the head, but the really damage that I did, if you look closely at the fight, it started to the body. The third time that I drop him, I hit him with a body shot, then I go up with the hook. The hook, I landed because he was stunned by the body shot. He was paralyzed by the body shot. If people don't know that, because my punches don't even really look impressive or if they hurt, you know, they look light, but they're not light.
Yeah.
On the third knockdown, and I'm talking about the fourth round. The first time I put him down in the fourth round, I paralyzed him with the body shot, then I go to the head, and he falls down. People don't realize what's a body shot. A body shot, after you get really, really good hit in the body, it hurts if you move, it hurts if you throw, and it hurts if you breathe.
That's right.
You know, you're actually paralyzed by a body shot. And I'm telling you this because I've been hurt by a body shot. You know, everything hurts, and you can't fight.
Yep, it's true. For a good 20 seconds. Could be longer. It hurts, man. When you get that liver shot, it ain't right for at least 30 seconds, I'll say. You might be able to get up, but you're not going to be good for a good half minute.
Yeah, and if you cover, and if you block the punch, but you block the punch and the punch was going to go to the same place, even if it's blocked, it hurts.
Yep.
Even if it's blocked.
Yep.
And sometimes fighters don't realize if you land a body punch, keep throwing that punch because even though he's blocking it, it's hurting. But sometimes people don't show it. Fighters don't show it, and the opponent thinks, "Oh, I'm not doing damage," because it does hurt.
Yeah, and everyone who's little has a memory from when they were little. Everybody fell down hard before, and they got the wind knocked out of them. That's exactly what it feels like. You think you're dying. It don't feel good. It feels terrible, and that's what he was going through. And do you feel like after losing 2 out of 3 and being where you were at, and to have to go through this guy's talking and having this Mexican Puerto Rican rivalry again, and it all the emotion that you were going through in and out of the ring, the whole thing, that when it was over, had to be a great feeling to see him try to get up and then fall down again. I mean, that win had to feel great to see him where he was after all the stuff that was going on in your life and up to this fight. Had to be a real satisfying win.
It was great, you know, going home with a title.
Yeah.
You know, getting back in the map, and
Yeah.
and you know, I fought on Saturday. The next week on Thursday, I was back in the gym, and everybody was surprised. They were like, "Are you not gonna take vacations?" I'm like, "Well, don't pay for vacations. You know, they pay for fights, so I want to fight. I'm not hurt. You know, nothing happened to me. I got great condition. I get up at 4 in the morning. I wash the dishes. I do all the laundry. I don't do nothing in my house. Why not come to the gym? I get desperate. I'm like, I don't do nothing. I don't feel good staying at home. You know, like being all hyper, like having all this energy. You know." I go to sleep early, I wake up early, like, what I'm doing home, you know, why not train? You know, why not train? Why not keep the rhythm? I'm like, nah, I'm back in the gym. You know, we got all these kids that they're gonna fight, and like, hey, you wanna help us? I'm like, yeah, let's do sparring. It's still gonna help me for my next fight. So on Monday, I'm starting sparring.
Wow. So no break, no time off. And just tell me quick what I mean, Ivan was classy in defeat. what did Bomba say to you after the fight was over?
Well, the first thing he told me, he was immediately apologized.
Okay.
You know, he was apologizing for everything that he said. He told me I was a great fighter, and he did it for the media, this and that. I'm like, you know what, kid? I'm like, I take the apologize. I forgive you. But first thing you have to do, you have to change as a human being. You have to change that mentality. And I told him, if you have people around you thinking like you were thinking, get them off your career. Get them off your life, because that's not going to help you. You have to change as a person first, and then as a fighter. Because you have all of these great champions like Tito Trinidad, who's humble, who's the people of the champ, and now you got everybody against you because of the way you talk. I'm like, don't worry about me. Worry about you people. Because I'm leaving tomorrow. You're staying here with your people. You know, you're staying with your people, and your people is gonna go back on you. You need to change that. I guess that's why he doesn't want to train Puerto Rico. I don't know. I mean, you got everything against you because you talk a lot. I'm not thinking that they're gonna give him props for that. You know, I'm thinking, well, everybody's gonna. You know, I had a lot of people telling me, you know, I respect you as a fighter. I respect you the way you are because you show respect, even though this guy's talking bad. I got nothing against this kid, but I don't like the way he talks. During the well, here it is. Like in his hand, I'm like, I've been raised like this. I'm still like this, and I'm always gonna be like this. And he's not gonna make me want to do something, you know. He's not gonna. And even though one interview told me, oh, what do you think that's gonna happen on the way? He's talking crap, and you think it might get a little bit high. I'm like, what do you mean a little bit hot? But yeah, it might push you or something. I told him, you know what? If this guy wants to jump, wants to make a flip, wants to act like a monkey, wants to be a clown, as long as you don't cross the line, you don't touch me, everything is cool. Because don't expect me to be standing up in front of him and letting him put his hands on me. Because that's never going to happen. Because once he puts a finger on me, I'm going to punch him. I'm not going to punch him slow, I'm going to punch him hard. I don't care what happens. Because one thing is being respectful, and another thing is letting you be the respect. You know, I've been raised like this. I mean, this is a sport. You know, mark your line. Don't cross it. Because if you cross it, I'm going to fight.
Yeah, obviously.
That's how I've been raised. I'm like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. Just don't cross the line. Because I'm a man. I'm not a clown. I'm a man.
Yes, you are. All man. And quickly, what did Ivan Calderon say to you after? Did he say anything?
No, he was. He said, you know, he said that he realized, you know, he's a different person, you know. He said, I know what's up.
Yeah. So, you guys remained cool and good friends. Did you see Tito again this time, or was it?
No, I didn't get the chance to see him. Like I said, you know, this wasn't a big fight. It was, you know, I'm thinking it was like 2,000 people on the arena. Actually, the arena went against Bomba because they actually had to put a small ring in order to get more people in, you know?
Wow.
When I saw the small ring, I'm like, hey, the ring's small, it's just me. We're like, oh my God, it's fucking small. I'm like, yes. You're not going to be able to run.
That had to scare Bomba. Had to.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If they want to put a smaller ring, for me, better, you know?
Yeah.
That way I won't get that much tired.
Yep. And quickly after the fight was over, you dedicated the fight to Arturo Mota. Tell me what he meant to you.
Oh, it meant a lot to me because he told his son, Richard Mota, he told him, look, man, I think Giovani needed another fight to get his distance because I know Giovani could have knocked Sosa out and he didn't do it because he was out of timing.
Mm-hmm.
And he told Richard, and this kid, he's gonna stop him. He's gonna stop him. He's gonna be in better shape. His timing is gonna be there, and he's gonna be more strong.
Yeah.
That's what happened, And Ricky told me, hey, my dad told me this and that. And keep training hard, this and that. I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I spoke to him, he told me, Mijo, you're gonna knock this guy out. I know you're gonna knock him out. Just train hard and keep your face up, okay? Nothing's happening. Be positive. I know we're gonna go there and win.
Yeah.
And he always had faith in me. He opened his doors of his gym. He gave me all the support that I didn't have of my family. And if one of the reasons that I'm here talking to you is because Arturo Mota gave me the opportunity in boxing, and I thank God for that, and I thank all his family, and that's why I dedicate the fight to him, and I also chose the colors of my trunk. They were their favorite colors. They were black and gold, and I asked for the short to be black and gold because it was his favorite colors,
Yeah.
And it was good, It was good because I know he was seeing me, and I know he wanted to see this, And there was a special feeling to win the way I win, and knowing that I did something that my manager wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's great. And the way you honored him, I'm sure he was smiling down on you. And you said that you wanted a rematch with, Edgar Sosa or Brian Valera. What?
Yeah, right now at the place that I put myself into,
Mm-hmm.
I think any fighter that I mentioned, it's a good fight,
Yeah.
I think Edgar Sosa, Tyson Marquez, Brian Valera, Gallito, he's a good fighter. Chocolatito too.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of fighters. We got the Japanese guys. We got a lot of fighters there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good fighters. They're right there to choose. It's just matter of time. Like I said, I'm getting ready to fight whoever. And all those fighters that are on the list right now, they're good to make a good fight. Because they're top of the line fighters, and they'll fight the best.
Yep, and you might be the best out of all of them, and I can't wait to see it. You got all those fights that could happen. Hopefully, it'll be some big fight for you next. Marquez would be good, and ironically, I think Tyson Marquez is still training with Robert Garcia. I'm not sure about that, and it's ironic that him and Bomba could be sparring each other and giving each other tips on how to fight you. Not that Bomba laid any kind of blueprint. He didn't. So he might just tell him the same thing Ivan Calderon was telling him when he was training for you. Watch out for you. Anybody who knows anything about exciting fighters, they have to love you, and I'm sure that you're getting more and more fans every time you fight. You just beat Bomba in a big fight, big in Puerto Rico and Mexico. How do your fans keep up with you? I know you're on Facebook, and tell fans how they can keep up with you. Are you on Twitter too?
Yeah, I don't really go on Twitter because I don't know. I'm lazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Go on the website, but they already told me. I got a Twitter, GOWBA, but I don't got an Instagram. They're like, hey, you're whack. You don't have an Instagram. Everybody has an Instagram. So I'm gonna make one. And And then now that's why I'm getting a lot of interviews too, because of my Facebook. Like this one, I got it because of Facebook, you know?
Yeah.
No.
So you are on Facebook. Tell the people who you are. Are you? What's your name on Facebook exactly? Is it Giovani Segura?
I got a fan page. It's Giovani Segura. It's the one, because there's like 5 that they say they're me, but they're not. That's the one that has like 5 belts all over me, like covering me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the couch. I'm taking a picture. Yeah. And and the other one is it's Gio Segura. Those are my real ones. You know, that one's that just keep them for the people that I know, the important people, like the one I'm talking right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. It's all you though. You got both of them. You handle it yourself. So, however people want to reach out to you, Giovani Segura, Gio Segura, however they want to put it, one of the most exciting guys in the game, and all the way back and looking up again. I appreciate your time. It went a lot longer than I expected. You give way more insight than I expected you would, and I appreciate all the time you gave me. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate too the opportunity to talk to you. I mean, when you talk about boxing, you talk about people that know about boxing. I mean, you can spend the whole day, and we'll never end. You know, we got a lot of things to talk about, and it's good to talk to people that they don't just ask you questions. You know, you can tell when people knows about boxing by the way they ask you a question. You know, reasonable questions, interesting questions. They're more easy to answer, you know. Yeah. And I appreciate your time too, and I'll get my Instagram, my Twitter going on probably this week, and I will not stay out of the social network this time that long.
It won't take long to get a lot of followers. Giovani Segura, appreciate your time. Thanks, champ.
Thank you for you, and beware of my punch. Bye bye.